Slums. Slums are extremely interesting spaces. They are on the one hand a variable. At this end, absolute misery. Everybody's ill. Truly a space of degradation, of human degradation. Terrible. But at this end, you have a growing number of slums that are extremely entrepreneurial spaces. The slum dwellers make their economies, they make their housing, they make their governance systems. And I often think that the homeless in our countries, in our rich countries, like the homeless in the United States, we now have tent cities. And these people, they are sitting in their tents and they are waiting to be called back into the system. And that's unlikely to happen. It makes visible the extent to which, and these are middle-class people, some of them were well-paid professionals, but they've been thrown out, they have used up all their money, and there they are. And it just makes visible the extent to which a lot of the middle class in our rich countries is merely a consuming class. They consume their citizenship, they consume their economy, they do not know how to make. And sometimes I sort of ask myself, well, who in our Western rich societies, who makes the social? Two stratums make the social. The poor, whether they are in slums or not, the very, very poor or the poor in our cities, because they have to survive. And immigrant communities are the best example. They have to interact with others. They have to produce collective arrangements. They have to help each other. They engage in barter. If you know how to build a wall and I know how to build a table, we exchange that. And elites, they also know how to make the social, because an elite is something different from just being very rich. An elite has to be made. It is also a project. You consolidate, etc., etc. But the vast middle classes, they don't. Now the slums, which are mostly in the mega cities of the South, of the global South, the good slums, the slums at this end, they are actually quite interesting spaces. And they can teach something to the growing number of displaced and homeless people that our rich Western societies are producing. And it does not look like that's going to end. We really have a very severe situation, whether that is Greece, Spain, Portugal, Chile, the United States, not all countries. I think the Netherlands still doesn't have that, Germany doesn't have that, but it is a serious trend in many countries. And those homeless people in our societies, they really are not able to make what slum dwellers can make. So the slum is something that we can learn from. We can learn from in the sense of, under very adverse conditions, with very limited means, if we collectivize, if we network, we can make something extremely interesting, I find.